Have you ever been in a situation where she's silent, but you know it's not peace? It's punishment, and you have no idea what you did wrong. It's like being caught in a storm with no warning and no shelter.
You're sitting next to her, and next to you is a frozen wall. No words, no explanation, just silence that makes you question everything. Yourself, the moment, the entire relationship. It creates tension that eats away at trust.
She's silent. Day 2. And this isn't just quiet. It's quiet with attitude, with meaning. It all started because I didn't notice her new haircut. She looked at me and pressed mute. Invisible button, no way to unmute. I've analyzed every message, every glance, no clue. But that silence is louder than any scream. It feels like emotional exile.
For many women, silence isn't absence. It's a code, a signal. Understand me without words. She won't tell you what's wrong. She'll just switch to silent mode and expect you to crack the code, like playing charades with no gestures. Sometimes silence screams.
But I'm not psychic. How am I supposed to guess? She doesn't have a sign on her forehead saying upset or angry. I ask, "Are you okay?" and get nothing. Not yes, not no, just silence. It's like being trapped in a mystery with no clues, just shadows.
She believes that true love means sensing even the smallest shift in the emotional air. If you didn't notice it, you must not care. Like you're supposed to be emotionally telepathic. No wonder you feel like you're constantly failing a test you didn't know you were taking.
Shift in the air. Maybe it's just the AC. Honestly, we need a weather center for our relationship. Forecast, cold front of silent resentment, chance of storms due to forgotten compliments, emotional tornadoes expected by dinner.
Silence can be a way to avoid conflict. She thinks, if I speak now, it'll get worse. So she stays quiet, thinking it's peace. But it's not peace. It's a sharp, cutting pause. A wall no one can cross. It's a cold war.
Often it's punishment. She wants you to feel guilty, even if you have no idea why. It's like a silent accusation. Figure out what you did wrong. Even your smile could be a new reason to shut down. Silence becomes a weapon.
She goes silent and waits for you to read her mind. But you can't. Emotionally, she's already pulled away. Silence becomes a chasm, not a bridge. You reach out and touch nothing.
I ran my own investigation. Checked our texts, calls, even screenshots. Nothing. Maybe I typed okay in the wrong tone? Wrong emoji? Who knows? She's not talking. It's like trying to decode a silent film without subtitles.
That's emotional control. If you don't react, she goes even quieter. It becomes a contest. Who'll break the silence first? And the first to speak loses. It's a silent standoff.
So now I have to beg for conversation? Be the one to risk it? This isn't court, but the silence feels worse than shouting. At least with shouting, you know something's happening.
This is silent manipulation. She wants you to take all the emotional responsibility. You're always the one restoring the mood, tiptoeing around her emotions. You become the fixer, the emotional janitor.
Mood management is my job now. What about dinner? Why am I always handling the emotional hurricanes? Do I need an emotional weather app or a translator for emotional Morse code?
In many couples, one talks, one controls the tempo with silence. The silent partner becomes the conductor, deciding when the conversation starts and ends. And if the orchestra plays without them, they punish with silence.
But silence isn't a conversation. It's a wall. Talking to her feels like talking to a fridge, cold and empty, except at least the fridge hums back.
It's passive aggression, well hidden. Dangerous because it looks like nothing, but that nothing consumes everything. It drains the warmth out of the connection.
Ninja level masking. She can sit silently for hours, but the tension is loud. Makes you want to wear emotional armor or hide under the emotional table.
There are 3 types of silence: the hurt silence, the manipulative silence, and the avoidant silence. Each has its traps. Each demands a different map to escape.
Interesting. Tell me more. I think I've fallen into all 3, especially the one that ends with, "You ruined everything," even when I only said, "Hi."
The first, she's hurt but afraid to say it. Bottles it up, avoids a fight, but it builds, waiting to explode later, like emotional dynamite. And when it goes off, everything shakes.
And it does explode. At New Year's, you forgot the oranges, or called her dress interesting 2 years ago, and now it's a national disaster. Emotional fireworks included.
Second, she stays silent to punish, to make you suffer. Third, she doesn't know what to say and disappears. It's escape, emotional shutdown, like pulling the plug on connection.
I thought she just fell asleep. Turns out it was emotional retreat mode. Through the pillow. Stealth level? Expert.
Long silence destroys. The partner feels abandoned, emotionally isolated, like sitting in a dark room alone. Even light feels distant.
It hurts more than words. At least words give us something to work with. Silence? It's a dead end, a maze with no exit.
Words offer hope. Silence rejects connection. It's exile, and exile kills intimacy.
One time, she sat in silence. I asked, "What's wrong?" Nothing. Again, silence. I offered a hug. She stood up and left, disappeared for 3 hours, left me with my questions, with the echo.
That's demonstration silence to trigger guilt, even if you've done nothing, an emotional hunger strike, a quiet protest no one can answer.
I'm starving for food, for warmth, for answers, but all I get is silence and an empty fridge and an emptier heart. Emotional malnutrition.
Starving for love or soup?
Both. But she didn't give me either. Just silence. And a weird sense of guilt I can't even explain. Like I'm apologizing for existing.
In healthy relationships, silence is a pause, not a punishment. It's for reflection, not control. To recharge, not to dominate. To connect again, not to divide.
But in toxic ones, it's a weapon. It kills dialogue, trust, closeness. It's a slow poison that numbs the bond.
Speaking is hard, but silence as punishment, worse. It's emotional prison, without trial, without release. It's solitary confinement in love.
The scariest thing is when 2 people sit together and there's only frozen silence between them. It crushes something inside. It leaves scars words can't.
What does silence mean to you in a relationship? Ever faced this? Share your story in the comments. Your experience might help someone else speak up.
And remember, silence can be golden, but not when it's used to pay for closeness. That gold is poisoned. It costs too much.
Learn to speak. And listen to those who go quiet, not out of wisdom, but from pain. Maybe one day someone will hear you too.